30 packets of ketchup.
All right, 30 packets of ketchup.
Is Heinz Ketchup one of your favorite condiments? Do you rely on it to jazz up burgers, hot dogs, and fries? This tomato sauce has the power to pump up flavor fast. Heinz Ketchup is a tomato-based condiment with a long history and a great reputation. This iconic ketchup reigns supreme over all other brands, so it's time to discover the top 10 untold truths about Heinz Ketchup.
Pass the Heinz.
You mean the Heinz Ketchup?
It's Heinz.
What the 57 on the bottle really means.
What does that mean?
In 2016, the Heinz Company celebrated its 150th birthday. This was a big milestone for the company, which is known for printing the words 57 varieties on all of its ketchup bottles. Most people assume that 57 varieties means that Heinz produces 57 products. The truth is that the company offers more than 5,000 products. That's a lot of Heinz products, isn't it? According to the Heinz Company lore, the company's founder, Henry Heinz, took a ride on a Big Apple train in 1896 and spied a sign that advertised 21 types of footwear. He felt that the advertising angle on the sign was a smart one and adopted his own version for his ketchup packaging. Even at that time, his company was producing more than 57 products. Over 60 products were being made at that point, but Henry Heinz had a lucky number and he used it on his products. The number, 57, did seem to bring him big-time luck, since his company is still going strong over 150 years later.
Bart, pass the ketchup. Bart, pass the ketchup.
We've got plenty of other fascinating Heinz secrets to share. But first, take a second to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to join our notification squad.
Come on, join us.
1,000 bottles of Heinz ketchup are sold every minute.
Oh, that's enough ketchup. Come on. Yeah.
Heinz is the gold standard for ketchup, and 1,000 bottles of the stuff are sold every 60 seconds. This product is flying off store shelves, and lots of restaurants use it too. People are accustomed to the taste of Heinz ketchup, and most don't want to see other ketchup brands on restaurant tables. They prefer to keep genuine Heinz ketchup in their home kitchens too. Heinz ketchup is what the people want, and lots of gourmet eateries offer it to their customers, just like diners and fast food joints do. You'll find Heinz ketchup at some very upscale restaurants in New York City, including Gramercy Tavern and the posh eatery Daniel, which offers tasty menus with 7 courses for over $200. Many respected chefs and restaurant owners understand that people are deeply connected to Heinz ketchup, no matter how refined their tastes are. When most restaurant customers think of ketchup, they think of Heinz, and they don't really want to experiment with other ketchup brands. The truth is that lots of chefs don't want to use other brands of ketchup either. They like Heinz as much as their customers do. Fancy places will often pay extra to display the ketchup in glass bottles. They know that people love seeing their favorite ketchup presented in its most classic packaging.
Could someone pass the ketchup?
I hope I can pass this hot dog.
Ed Sheeran has a tattoo of a Heinz ketchup label.
I got a ketchup bottle in Pittsburgh and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in Philly.
You have to be heavy into Heinz ketchup to get a tattoo of a Heinz label, and Ed Sheeran is heavy into Heinz ketchup.
I once had ketchup with an apple. That was all right.
Ed is a gifted singer-songwriter who is committed to his popular condiment. He's got tons of tattoos, including a lion on his chest and a teddy bear. His Heinz ketchup label tattoo is on his upper arm. It's the focal point of a full sleeve of ink. In June of 2018, reports circulated that Heinz Australia got wind of Sheeran's tattoo and wanted to put his face on their Heinz ketchup bottles. That sounds like a pretty good marketing gambit. Ed once remarked that he'd make ketchup mandatory at restaurants that sell chips, or French fries, if he became the UK Prime Minister. Ed is very famous, with an entourage, and he makes sure that one of his underlings has a bottle of the red stuff on hand at all times. Ed gets frustrated when he ends up at eateries that don't offer his iconic ketchup brand. Ed Sheeran couldn't possibly be more into his fave ketchup. This is Ed's comfort food, or comfort condiment. He doesn't leave home without it.
Not enough ketchup.
Some counterfeit Heinz ketchup bottles exploded.
Can I drink this?
Do you want to explode?
If you want authentic taste as well as personal safety, stay away from bottles of counterfeit Heinz. There was an incident whereby fake bottles of Simply Heinz ketchup exploded, and it wasn't pretty. In 2012, in a Dover, New Jersey warehouse, plenty of counterfeit ketchup was stored in crates. It was real Heinz ketchup, which became counterfeit when it was repackaged. The goal of repackaging the ketchup was to fool the buying public and turn a profit. Basically, cheaper original formula ketchup was repackaged as a higher-end premium ketchup, simply Heinz, which is made with sugar rather than high fructose corn syrup. The bungling criminals who were running this ketchup scam operation didn't store the bottles at the right temperature, like the skilled team at Heinz would. This is why acid from the vinegar and tomatoes in the ketchup, as well as sugars, started to ferment. It was just too hot in the 7,000 square foot warehouse, and this triggered the fermentation process. The bottles started blowing up, and the other tenants of the warehouse soon took note of the mess. Heinz employees and city officials got involved.
You're under arrest.
The Heinz ketchup flavor profile is perfectly balanced.
The flavor profile is perfection.
Heinz ketchup gets a lot of respect from gourmets, including renowned chefs, due to its impressive flavor profile. Obviously, it's a huge hit with regular folks, too. This brand of ketchup features iconic taste that has so much balance. It's believed that the very first batch of Heinz ketchup was inspired by a recipe from China. It was a thick sauce, like ketchup. Henry Heinz put his own unique spin on things by making sure to use only super juicy premium tomatoes. However, the secret behind the success of this ketchup lies in our very own taste buds. According to one chemical expert, human beings are able to detect 5 types of tastes. They are bitter, salty, sweet, sour, and umami.
I love the umami flavor.
Stop being so pretentious, Kyle.
Umami is the Japanese word for yummy or delicious. Umami taste is kind of hard to describe. It's a taste that doesn't fit into the other categories. It's a savory taste, and cooked meats and broths tend to have umami taste. Ketchup experts believe that Heinz ketchup has impressive umami taste too. Heinz ketchup also hits the other 4 types of tastes. It's salty thanks to its salt, it's sweet thanks to its sugar, it's sour thanks to its vinegar, and it's bitter thanks to its tomatoes. It's got it all in terms of giving people's palates all 5 taste sensations, including umami.
Chew on this shiso leaf. It'll give our kissing umami flavor.
McDonald's stopped offering Heinz ketchup to customers.
This ketchup is empty. Can I get a new ketchup, please?
For decades, McDonald's customers were able to access genuine Heinz ketchup along with their burgers and fries, but not anymore. In 2013, McDonald's ended its long association with the Heinz brand and started using other ketchup instead. The change was initiated when Heinz hired Bernardo Hees as the new CEO. He was formerly the CEO of Burger King Worldwide, so you can see why that left a sour taste in the mouths of McDonald's management. In fact, Hees is still a partner with 3G Capital, a Brazilian investment firm that controls Burger King. Now, McDonald's offers its own private label ketchup brand known as McDonald's Fancy Ketchup. For 40 years at McDonald's burger joints, it was all about the Heinz, as well as Big Macs and golden, salty French fries. Customers seemed to be okay with the change. It got some press, but then faded out in the media, probably because Heinz was already out of the picture in most of the U.S. market, with the exception of Minneapolis and Pittsburgh. Where Heinz really got hurt was the overseas market. Now that McDonald's fully controls production and distribution of its ketchup, it's easy for the company to ensure that it's the same ketchup in every single McDonald's location worldwide. Was corporate pettiness the whole reason for the change? Yes. The answer is yes.
People are so petty and tiny.
The H.J. Heinz Company has been around since 1869.
I had no idea.
Heinz is a company that's been around for ages. The Heinz Company was formed in 1869. It opened its doors as a food processing firm, and its headquarters were in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The founder of the company was Henry John Heinz. These days, the company produces over 5,000 food products. It has factories on 6 different continents, and its products are marketed in over 200 territories and countries. Right now, 200 of the brand's products are classified as number 1 or number 2 products globally. In terms of ketchup, Heinz is number 1 in America. Heinz Ketchup grabs over half of all ketchup market share in the USA. In 2013, Heinz was snapped up by 2 companies. They are 3G Capital in Brazil and Berkshire Hathaway. After this corporate acquisition, the Kraft-Heinz Company became the 5th biggest food firm on the planet. In 2015, Berkshire Hathaway acquired majority ownership of Heinz. At the moment, Berkshire Hathaway owns a 52.5% stake in Heinz. Berkshire Hathaway is investment guru Warren Buffett's company.
I peaked very early in my business career. It's been all downhill ever since.
The company began by selling horseradish.
This is my horseradish. All of it.
Heinz Ketchup is the cornerstone of the Heinz Company product line, but it wasn't the first product that came from Heinz. The first product was horseradish sauce. By the time he was 9 years old, young Henry Heinz, who had always helped his mom in the garden, started making his own horseradish sauce. He would grind up the ingredients himself and then sell the concoction to people who lived near his home. His horseradish sauce was clearly awesome because he had trouble meeting demand. By the time that he was 12, he was able to afford a horse and wagon, which he used to get more of his horseradish sauce to more people. By his mid-teens, he was delivering his horseradish sauce to Pittsburgh a few times a week. His trips to the big city were successful outings. By his mid-20s, he was ready to form his first firm with a buddy. It was called Heinz Noble & Company. Unfortunately, the company couldn't stay afloat. It went under a few years after it opened. Henry Heinz was ready to try again. He started F&J Heinz Co. and began marketing ketchup to consumers. In the new company, his cousin was his business partner, but Henry bought him out later on.
It's just business.
Oh.
The tapping trick gets ketchup out of the bottle fast.
That's part of your trick, right?
To get Heinz ketchup out of a glass bottle, just tap the bottleneck. You don't need to use too much force. This simple trick should get the thick ketchup flowing again. These days, lots of people are buying Heinz ketchup in plastic bottles that are easy to squeeze. However, there are still glass bottles of Heinz ketchup out there. According to In the Know ketchup fans, tapping the bottle right where the number 57 is displayed on the bottleneck is the secret of success. One firm tap should be enough to solve the problem and make it easy for you to add ketchup to a recipe or put a blob on your plate next to some tasty French fries. Heinz ketchup in glass bottles looks amazing. These bottles are a part of Americana. However, the glass bottles are a little harder to get ketchup out of sometimes, unless you know the tapping trick. Now that you know, you won't need to waste time trying to correct a ketchup clog. You'll be ready to get the situation handled in seconds. While this trick won't work every single time, it's pretty reliable. So give it a try the next time that you run into ketchup trouble.
Are you here to solve my ketchup problem?
Heinz purchases 200 million tons of tomatoes yearly.
Do you know how many tomatoes that is?
It takes a lot of tomatoes to make a single bottle of Heinz ketchup. This ketchup is all about concentrated tomato flavor. Each year, the Heinz Company buys 200 million tons of tomatoes. That's so many tomatoes. The tomatoes have to be premium. Heinz has always been committed to using the freshest, ripest, and juiciest tomatoes. 650 million bottles of Heinz ketchup are sold annually, and this is why the company needs a steady stream of red and flavorful tomatoes. Most of the company's ketchup is produced in a factory in Fremont, Ohio. There used to be another factory in Leamington, Ontario, Canada, but Heinz shut that company down in 2014. The company tends to buy tomatoes from growers who have farms close to their factories. This speeds up the pace of ketchup production. While competitors have always tried to take away market share from Heinz, it remains the winner in the ketchup wars. It's got the authenticity, roots, brand recognition, and flavor profile that customers are looking for. Heinz is an American brand that people trust, and Heinz ketchup continues to be a strong seller. Maybe it always will be. It's hard to imagine another ketchup brand unseating Heinz ketchup as #1, but stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened, Homer.
So, while you're waiting for that ketchup to slowly come out of the bottle, find out how to become an official Babble Topper by clicking on the join link in the description below. And for more great videos, just stay right here and click. It's that easy.